Hi guys, it's Katie here again from Creativa, and I'm doing another video today using the Broderie SVG Mini Album files. So SVG files are scalable vector graphic files that you can use on cutting machines such as the Cricut, the Brothers Scan and Cut, or the Silhouette, to name a few. And I have created a set of 30 files which are called Broderie, and these can be used to make a mini album from start to finish with everything that you need. So here's a couple of quick examples. I've made this one on camera, and there's a playlist for making all of the pages of this album. It's a 7 by 7 inch album with a 3-inch spine. And the files contain all of the things that you need to make this cute little album. So we've got doors and flips and pockets and all sorts of things, and that all comes with in those files so that they can be cut out. And the thing about SVG files is that they are scalable. So I used the same files to make this tiny dinky little album, and I've also made this one a little bit more plain, so I haven't used the fancy edges that a lot of the pieces in the Broderie comes with, but that's just to show you that it's versatile and you can do lots of things with it. And today I'm going to make something completely different, and I may have shown, well, I did show in the previous video this desk organizer or planner that I've made, and I want to make one today, and I thought I would bring you along. So I have scaled this up. The size, if you made no changes to it, the size that will come in would be like this, but as you can see, I've already scaled it up to make it much bigger. And I have a video in the playlist on how to size up the whole mini album using the Cricut design space. So I will put a link in so that you can have a look at that. But today we're going to make a big one like this. So just quickly, it has a opening here. It folds open, and we have this pocket page here with pockets that you can put things in. And then over here is another pocket, and I've just popped in a monthly planner in there. In the center section here is like a double belly band, and this has got a pocket underneath where you can stash things that you don't want to look at every day, maybe bills. That's what I'm planning on using it for. I also have this wallet folder here, and I've just got some index cards in here, and a weekly calendar there. You can put anything you like in there. And then under this one I have got a to-do list. So it slides in there, and that folds up. And then in the center section I've used a traditional waterfalls feature that you might have in a mini album, but instead of putting in photos, I've used photo corners and attached index cards so that I can have a list for everything. And when I finish with that list, I can just pull my index card out and slot the brand new one in, just like that. And so I can have a list for all different lists. I don't know about you, but I do love a list. So that's that one there. And then we flip over the page, we have a pocket here, and in this pocket we have some envelopes that we also made with the SVG files, and that just opens up and you could put receipts or anything that you like in there. So there's the envelope. And then on this last page here, I have a side pocket, and in that side pocket I've got a couple of cards and then a notebook that I made using SVG files, and I've just put some blank line pages in there. And that slides into that pocket, like so. And then this pocket, I've got another pocket here that we can also use for hiding bills in. So I want to make one of these for myself for this year. It's January and I want to get organised, so I want to do that today with you. So I'll put that aside. Aside from using my SVG files, I'm using this paper collection by Kaisercraft. It's called Rosabella. It's really pretty. I've had it for a few months now, I also bought the sticker book, which I've never done before, but I think I'm going to enjoy that. And I picked up these little glass circular curios also in the Rosabella line. So that's what I'm going to use. But I didn't want to use all of the papers. I wanted to keep it a little bit calmer. So I'm also using some pages out of this big Atlas of the World. So atlases tend to go out of date because, you know, borders change and populations change, and obviously a snail's had a go at that. I bought this from the op shop. It probably cost me about $4, and it's from 1981. So, you know, it's not really up to date. But what I've done is cut some of my mats out of these index pages at the back, because I just really like the columns and the figures, and the paper's also really quite nice and sturdy, and I thought it would make it maybe not so busy, and then I can use the stickers to embellish it. So that's what I've been using, and then I just cut everything out of my pieces themselves out of craft cardstock. So I created a list here of everything that I've cut out of the Broderie SVG files and the number. So I thought I would just quickly go through that and then we'll stick it together. If you're in my Facebook group, I'm going to put this in my files section in the Facebook group. And if you're not, please feel free to join us. It's called Creativa Divas. And I'll put a link in the description box below. And this will be there in the files section. So I'll just put that to the side. As a quick reminder, there's 30 files and 15 are the elements or the pieces themselves, and then 15 of the files are the mats to go with it. And the pieces themselves are in blue and the mats are in pink, and I've given everything in alphanumeric label so it's easy to refer to. So I'm just going to go through this list and show you the pieces that I've cut out of each section. So I've cut out, I can't fit it all on the screen, sorry, but I've cut out 4 C1s. So C1 is the base page. I've cut out 4 of those, and then I've cut out 4 of the C2 mats. So that's all of these pieces here. So I've got 4 mats and 4 of the C2 pieces. So I use a Cricut. So my Cricut's cut it out. It's also scored all of the score lines for me. So all I've done is inked it up. And then the same with the mats. The next one is B3 and 2 of those. So B3 is the little skinny binding mat here. And that's these 2 here that I've just cut out of that atlas. So that's those pieces. The next ones are G2. So I've cut out 2 of these G2s and 2 of the mats that go on the G2, which is G5, and that's these 2 here. So here's my G2 pieces, and I like to label them when I cut them out so that I remember what they are, so I don't get confused. And I tend to also just paper clip the mats to them as well, so that I feel like I'm a little bit organised. Okay, the next piece, well, I'm going to skip this piece, I think, till the end. We'll just keep going through these other ones. So the next one is E2. So that's this piece here. I've cut out 1 of those, and then I've cut out 2 of the E6 mats. So that is this piece here, E2, and 2 of the E6 mats there, ready to go. The next one is F2, which is this little pocket here. So I've cut out 1 of those, and then I've cut out 1 of the F8 mats which go on top, and that's these 2 here. So there's my F2 piece, and there's my mat that goes on top, which is F8. Then I've cut out 2 of the F5 pieces, so this little skinny pocket, and I've cut out 3 mats for that, I believe. F5, is it F5? F5, yes, I've cut out 3 mats for that, and that's F11. So that's those here, 2 of these, and then 3 of the mats under there. And then I have cut out some pieces from J. So J is this funny file full of strange bits and pieces. But I've cut out one of the J8s, which is this corner pocket here, and one of the J16s, which is the mat to go on that, and that's those two pieces there. Then I'm going to flip back to H. H2, I've cut out 3 of these, and then I've cut out 3 mats to go on them, which is H4. And that's these 3 here. So I've got 3 H2 pockets and then 3 of the mats that fit on top. And F6, I'm a little bit all over the place, but it's just the way I was working it out. So F6 is this pocket here, which is also a waterfall, and that's what we're using it today as, a waterfall. So I've cut out 7 of those. I've cut out 14 of the mats that go on those, which is F12. And then I've cut out 7 of these little skinny mats here, which is F13. And that's this little pile here. So I've got all of these mats cut out, and then I've got all of those pieces. So that's the F6, F12 and F13. F13 has those little skinny bits there. Pop those there. And then I forgot to tell you about the little belly band here. So under J, I've cut out one of the J3s and one of the mats that go on that, which is J12, which is this one here, cut out. Right, now for the notebook, which is the notebook that had the line paper in it, I've cut out two D3 pockets. So let's flip back over to D3. I've cut out 2 of those, and then I have cut out 4 of the mats that go on that. That's D6. So that's that little pile there. 4 mats and 2 of the D2 pockets. For the wallet folder, I've cut out 2 of the D2s and 4 of the D5s, which are the mats to go on that. So that's these 2, this little pile here. D2s, 2 of those and 4 of the mats to go on top. And then that also has the corner pockets. So I've cut out 2 J8s and 2 J16s, but I flipped them so that I have them going in opposite directions like that, and that's for our wallet. So I put all of that together so it doesn't get lost. Whoops, just about got lost right then. And then for the envelope, I believe, yes, we flip back over here to F. I'm sorry if this is confusing, but I will put this in the file section so that you can just easily refer to it, because we are using a lot of pieces. For the envelope, I've cut out one F2 and 2 F8 mats. So that's this pocket here, and the mats for that, 2 of those. So that's that piece. And then I've cut out 2 of the F5s, which are these skinny ones here. That's those 2. And then I've cut out 2 mats for that, although I should have cut out 3. So I'll need to cut out 1 more of those. Right, so that's for the envelope. And then I have also decided today to make a little sticky notes book. So I've cut some pieces out for that. So I've cut out 2 of the F6 pieces, 4 of the F12s and 2 of the F13s. And that's all these little pieces here. So they're all cut out and ready to go. So that's all our pieces. So I'll just put this aside and we will start. Oh, it's not all the pieces. I had one more piece to show you. And the reason I left it to the end is because we need to do something to it. So the last piece we need is the R3 piece, and we need to size that up. And I can show you how to do that on the Cricut Design Space, and I hope that you'll just be able to figure that out if you're using a different cutting machine. So I'm just going to show you on my iPad, and I'm going to hope it's not too blurry and you can see it. So here's my projects in the cloud. Let me just move this out of the way. And I've already set up a project, and it's called, I've got 2 desk organisers, and this is just the standard size that it comes in, and then this is the size, this is the large where I've kind of selected everything and pulled it out. And if you'd like to know how to do that, I do have a video in this playlist, and I will also link that. So the piece that we're working on today is in this one here, and it helps if you open it up, customize, replace. Okay, so the piece that we're using today is this R3 piece here, and it's never going to be, it doesn't come as big as the base page. We want it to be the same size as this C2 base page, and here you can see one that I have already sized up to fit, so it fits exactly. Let's just move the mat out of the way for now, shall we? I've sized it up so that it will fit exactly between that top dashed line, which is the score line, and the bottom line, which is the cut line. So to do that, let me just move that out of the way. Here's one here. So I've grouped both the mat and the piece itself together. And the first thing I need to do is rotate it because it's not exactly in the right way. So I'm going to go to, I think it's actions, or maybe it's edit. So I don't use my iPad. I tend for this very much, so I'm not really great on how everything works on here. I tend to use the desktop version. But what I want to do is move it over next to my C2 piece, which is my base page. So we just have a look at that. My C1 piece, that's my C1's my base page, and that's what we're using for the outside covers of the organizer. And this is the flip that goes over the top. So this little piece here is the piece that we need to size up and put on the side here. So that's what we're doing now. So all I'm going to do is pick it up and put it on top of the C1 piece here. I'm lining up that top part of the accordion pocket with the score line across the top of the C1 piece, and then I'm just going to drag that whole piece out until that bottom section, that bottom line lines up with the bottom line of that C1 piece, and then it's as big as my base page, and that's it. That's all I have to do. But I wanted to explain that, and because I felt like if I didn't actually show you, it might be confusing. It's probably still confusing, but you know, I'm trying. So that's what you need to do, and then cut it out, and that's what I've done. So I'll just put that to the side, and then we can start putting it all together. So I've shown you all the pieces. I've shown you how to size up that last piece. So that last piece is now here. So that's the R. You'd think I'd remember what they're all. R2, R3. That's this R3 piece here, and then the mats, and I've cut 2 of those, one for each side, and that's R8. Right, so now we have all our pieces, and we can start putting it all together. So let me just take a breather for a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and I have just got out my protector mat, which is just a shelf liner. And I've got out all the pieces that I'm going to start off with, and I also have some glue, which is Crafter's Choice craft glue. I can't talk. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but it's what I have. So to put the main part together, we are going to start with the C1 pieces, and we have 4 of those. And I've labelled mine just to make it easier. I've got 2 inside pocket, 2 that I'm going to use for my inside pocket page, and 2 that I'm going to use for my outside cover. So let's start with the outside cover. So the Cricut, when it, or your cutting machine when it cuts and scores, will put score lines here, and there's also another one here which you might not be able to see. It's really difficult to see. But I'm not folding on that score line at all. I'm going to leave it as it is. There's also a score line across the top here for this tab. and I don't need this tab, so I'm going to cut this tab off on both of these pieces. So this is the only cutting that I need to do, and I don't need to do any scoring. And I've left these tabs on just to make each of these pieces much more versatile, so you can use them for other things. Like in this example, we're using it to make a desk planner or organiser. So I've just lined up my score line, and I've sort of lined it up, and I'm just going to trim off that tab, and that's going in the bin. And I'm going to do the same with this one, because we don't need these tabs for the front cover. I'll line that one up and that one up, and just trim that tab off and put that to the side. And then I am going to get out my distress tool, and I'm just going to distress these top two pieces edges, because I haven't already done that. I tried to distress as much as I could, but I prefer to distress these after I've trimmed it rather than folding it and then trimming it. It's just a personal preference. I think it just looks nicer. So I haven't also done the inside of these at all. I'm sorry, I really did try to be organised. Never mind, I can sort that out later. And I'm going to do the same around here as well. And I probably haven't done that side either, no, but I'll do that in a minute. I'll just put this to the side. So on both of these pieces, I have folded on this first score line here, but not on the second one. And that, so I can fold that over that way, and then this one this way, and we're simply going to join those two tabs together, and that's going to make our spine. So I'll just get out my glue and we'll do that. I think it takes ages to plan a video, at least it does for me, so that I have everything handy and I don't have to go off looking for things. But I don't know, and I try and ink everything up as well, so that you don't have to watch me ink. But I always forget something, particularly when it's when you're using a pocket or something as a flip, and you forget to ink up the other side. So I'm just going to make sure that that folds over and that they are lined up. And when I'm happy with that, I'm just going to burnish it down. And I've got glue everywhere. I always do this. I'm a messy crafter. And I'm going to just check this side as well. And you can see that I've got glue coming out this side as well, but that's okay, because I'm going to mat this spine later. So that's okay. So that's our cover, basically, done. Now, I don't know whether to round the edges, the corners. I think I will. I might regret it, but at least on this front section, because I think round corners tend to wear a little bit better. So I'm just going to ink that up. I'm not going to do the back one though, because right now we're going to attach this this piece here, which is that R3 piece or R2 or whatever it was, I can't remember. The one that we just sized up. We're going to attach that one onto here. So R3. And we're just going to line it up on this side and attach it just shy of that last score line. So let's do that. And then that's sort of the main body done. Glue everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to slide that in there. And one of the things I think about this is the mini albums are really quite time intensive to make. But I think this is a much quicker project, and I think really useful, and so therefore I think it would be a great gift idea. So, you know, you could make these for anyone, somebody who's studying or somebody who works, and anybody needs a planner or somewhere to keep their bills and bits and pieces so they're not scattered all over the place. I'm just going to pull that out a little fraction there so that that last score line folds over nicely like so. And make sure that it's sort of lined up at the top and the bottom. Hope I'm in frame. I don't usually work on something quite so big on camera. Just get that glue off there. Of course I've got glue oozing out. Right, so that's our main piece there. The outside cover. So now we can add some other bits and pieces in. So we had this flip page here, which was our E piece. So I'm just going to rustle through here. It's an E2 piece. And this again is a pocket piece, but we're going to use it as a flip. So I'm going to flip it on this long tab here. So I've inked that up, but these two short tabs I'm going to cut off. So I have not done anything to those, and I'm just going to quickly pull out my cutting board, and once again I'm going to line up that score line and just trim that tab off and do the same on this side. I don't know if you can see, but I put little crosses on the tabs that I want to trim off because too many times I get yapping and I forget and I trim off the wrong piece. So this section is just going to go on here like this, and we have rounded those corners, so we need to round these corners here to match, and I think I might round these ones as well. So let's do that. I shall round the edges or the corners and ink up, and then we can attach it. Okay, I have rounded all 4 edges and I have inked all the way around it, and now I can attach it to my outside cover. So I'm just going to put some glue on this tab here and put it down. Oops, glue everywhere. This just comes flying out of this container. I think I might be squeezing too hard. No, I squeezed softly then, it made no difference. Okay, so gluing 101 I have failed at. Okay, I'm just gonna... Alright, if that's not enough glue to hold that on, I don't know what is. Oops. So I'm just lining up that edge. Lining it up at the top and the bottom. Excuse me while I dangle it around a bit. Oh, that's not the word I'm looking for either. You know what I mean. I'm just going to make sure that that's stuck down nicely. Get out my bone folder. Make all the glue squish out the edges. That's okay. I'm going to mat it. Make sure that that edge is nicely lined up. Hold it down. And that's then cover. Opens up that way, opens up that way, and then we have this flip fold here. Oops, stuck down to that glue. Try and get that off. Right, so the next bit that we can do is the inside pockets. So to do that, I need my G pieces. Where have I put those? Here. Now I've had all the mats nicely organised, and now I've just got this diabolical mess off to the side. So one of these I'm going to attach with the with this pocket edge coming out this way, and we're going to put it down like so, so that we have a little bit of a gap here, and then the other one we're going to put on this side in the same way. But before I do that, I'm going to put a little notch in those and also in the mats that go with them. And last time I used a corner punch, but this time I'm going to use my envelope punch board. So you can use, I didn't use a corner punch, I used a round 1-inch punch, but this time I'm going to use my punch board. Quite like the way that looks. So what I need to do is line up my mat on the corner of my G piece like so, and I need to decide where I'm going to put it. So I normally have my mat sort of, you know, in the center, but this time I'm going to pull it right up flush here before I stick it down. Make sure I'm happy with where that is. Then I need to decide where I want to put my notch, and I'd normally put it in the center, but I'm actually going to put it up a little bit. So I think I might even measure that, just why not? So I think I just wobbled everything around. So I'm happy with how my mat's lined up there. And shall I use inches? I might do it at the 3-inch mark as being my center. Right, so that's my center. So if I slide, whoop, don't move, if I slide that in there, then my, where's my 3-inch? This 3-inch here should line up with my score line just here, or at least that's how I'm going to do it. We're going to live with that, okay? And then I punch it, and then we have, when I move the mat back, it'll be lined up the same. So that's for that side, and then I'm going to do the same for this side. I feel like I'm really living on the edge here, because I usually put it in the center and I'm not. Here's the tricky thing. I want it to be 3 inches from this side, so maybe I'm just going to have to flip it over. Line it up here. Oh, I hope this works. For some reason it won't slide in. There we go. Now I'm going to line up that crease with the 3-inch and push it down. And hopefully that'll be okay. Right, so I'm going to put that to the side. So my plan is to do that for some of my pockets. These ones I wanted to be further up the top because there's a bottom pocket that we put in this center one, and if we had that notch in the halfway point, it would interfere with that pocket, and we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to ink my little edge bit there, and same here, and this one. So if you don't have an envelope punch board, you can use a circle punch to make a little notch, or you could just make a little template, or you could work something out on your cutting machine. I'm going to pop this one down on here. So I'm just going to glue these tabs and stick it down. Right, should have copious amounts of glue there. I'm going to line that bottom piece up, that bottom edge up. Make sure it's on this side of that score line so it doesn't interfere with the folding. Push it down. Line it up at the top and the bottom as best we can. On that bottom folder. And squash it down. Same along the bottom here and along the top, which is very lined up. So then we have this little pocket where I can stash things that I don't really want to look at. Right, and then there's the mat for that. I'll just leave that for the moment, and then I can do the same on this side. Okay, so I've attached the two G2 pieces in here, so we have pockets on either side, and now we need to attach this center pocket page. So I have got my other C1 pieces here, and I've already gone ahead and notched them just to save a bit of time. But for these ones, we don't want this last tag here, so I haven't inked up along there, nor have I folded along that score line there, but I am going to cut that tag off, but we're going to keep this top tag. And I'm going to do the same for both of those. So I'll just grab out my cutting board tool thing, and I'm just going to line up that score line, which is really difficult to see, and I'm going to go just a little smidge this way, on the other side of that score line, which I absolutely cannot see. There we go. Just a smidge in from there, and then I'm just going to trim that off. And that's for the bin. And I'll do the same with the other one, this one here. So I'm going to line up that score line, and I'm just going to go a smidge in, just a whisper. Try that one off, and that one's done as well. So I'm going to pop that aside. So the idea here is that we're going to join these guys together, so they're both like that. I'm just going to flip one over so that they're together like that, and join those pages together. And so we can do that. Oh, and this one here, I forgot what I was doing. This one here, we're just going to notch those corners to make it like a normal tab. And that one there. And then we can join this, we're going to use this as tab to join to the inside here, so that it will make a pocket page like that. So let's put this aside for the moment so I don't get glue on that. But then we're going to leave this tab hanging out, and I'm going to join them together like that. So I'll grab my glue. I hope I'm explaining myself. I feel like I'm not explaining myself very well. Come on. My glue's got a bit, it's really warm here tonight, sort of muggy and humid. A bit of glue on that one, and then I'll just lay this page on top and line up those two bottom edges. Make sure that it's lined up in that corner. And my bone fold down there. Then where's my rag? I'll just wipe up that bit of glue that just oozed out. And then I'm going to fold these two in. Whoops. Fold this tab in here and this one in here. And put some glue on those. I just filled up this glue bottle. This shows you how much glue I use. And this one. And I'm just going to fold that one over on top of here and avoid that tab. I'm just going to leave that one out, and then we're going to line this up along the top and down that side. Give that a good burnish. Make sure it's stuck down well. And then wipe that glue off there. And then we have a pocket page all ready to go. So this tab here we are going to attach to the center part of our planner organizer. Just going to line it up and pop it down on there. I have not inked around the edge of that tab though, and I feel like I want to. And I don't feel like I'll be happy until I do. So I'm just going to ink up. I'm using this VersaFine in Vintage Sepia for these craft cardstock pieces, because I usually use a distress ink, but I just find that this really works better on the craft cardstock. I think it really sucks up the ink. Right, so that should fit perfectly in there and flip the ways like so. Make sure that my tab's up high, and I'm going to put some glue on and attach it down. Of course, you don't have to use glue. You could use double-sided tape. I'm just a gluey kind of a person. Just like using the glue. So I'm just going to line that up. Give myself a little bit of wiggle room near that score line, because I don't want it to come over that score line. And then, once again, make that glue squish out. But at least I know that it's stuck down pretty well and good when I do it like that. Well, she says, and then it moves. Let's try again. Stick and don't move. Fold that over and bunch that down there. So I think part of my problem is that this cardstock is not cardstock that I would tend to use, but as I say, the cardstock I normally buy I just can't get at the moment, and I certainly can't. I can get it in smaller sizes, but I can't get it in the 12 by 12, which is really frustrating. So I have to use this, and on the packet it doesn't say what GSM it is or what pound, but it's thick. Right, so I think that's pretty well stuck on. You can see a bit of my glue coming out there, and I just can't get it off. There we go. Okay, so now we've got that centre, we've got all the main parts here, so now we can just put in some pockets and mats and things like that. So let's start with this flip out here. I already have the mats for that. That's these two here. Whoops, things flying around all over the place. So I have these two mats now. I can't remember which side I want to. This one's going to go on here, and I have rounded the corners, so let's get around those corners. And once I've put this mat on, then I have a couple of pockets to go on this side. Okay, so, oh, these corners are rounded too. Quick, better do something about that. Well, at least I think actually doesn't, this one doesn't matter so much because we're going to put a pocket there. Okay, last minute save. I'm going to line that up, pop it down on there. And then we can do the same on this side. And they need to be rounded all the way around. Ugh. Now I've got glue on my little corner rounder. Okay, this is... oh dear. I hope everybody else does stupid things like this. Okay, I need corners. Round corners on this one. And I'll just ink the corners up, because now they look naked. And we can put that one on there. So essentially, I can go ahead and mat all of these sections with the mats that I've already cut out, and then once I've done that, we can put the pockets on. So I shall go ahead and put the mats on everything, because I'm very conscious that this is going to be a very long video if I don't cut some corners, so to speak. So I'll go ahead and put the mats on everything along here, and then once I've done that, I'll come back and we can put some pockets on. All right, fabulous. Okay, so I'm back and I have put the mats on all of these pages here so that they're all ready to go. I have just left this mat here, well, I thought I did. I've just left this mat here loose at the bottom because I'm going to put a little flap in here, or a flip or something to hold it on. And that is going to be at a halfway point. So I'm going to find the halfway mark on my page here, and I've sized this up. So this is basically 24. So halfway is 12 centimeters. So I'm just going to put a little mark there. And then my flip that I'm going to use, I need to dig around and find amongst all of these pieces that I have going on here, is this one here. So this piece here is the F5, and we're going to use as a flip. So I'm going to flip it from this bottom tab here. So I need to cut off this tab here and this tab here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll put the tab here and one here, and trim that off, and then the same one here. I can't see that line for the life of me, so they can go in the bin. I'm going to round my edges like so. And then this guy here is going to flip up from the bottom. I hope you can see okay, from that center line. So I also want to find my center line a center point on here. So I'll just grab my ruler and find my center point here. I'm just going to put a little mark, and then I'm going to put some glue on this tab. Oh, way too much. What's new though, hey? And then when I can slide this under here, come on, I'm going to slide under here, and I'm just going to make sure that I've got a little bit too much glue there, and just make sure that those two marks line up. And it's lined up on the bottom nicely, and press that down, and then I can go ahead and attach this mat here, which I will do later. So then what we're going to do is put a mat on this side. So this mat I have already inked up, and I've already trimmed the edges. This feels I spent ages trying to prepare for this video, and it still feels a bit odd. Now I have not inked around there, so I will go ahead and do that. And I also moved ahead. Sorry, I'm just not really very with it seems like. This mat here I don't want to attach to the back just yet, because I want to put a magnet on here to hold it on to my flips. And having said that, I already gone ahead and started doing my waterfall flips here. And do you think I remember to put a space anywhere for that magnet? No, I have not. But anyway, let me show you how I made this, and then I'll try and figure something out with this one later. So these pieces here are the F6 pieces, F6 pockets, and I need to trim off these 2 tabs, and then I can mat them. And then when I've done that, well, let's just do that, shall we? Then I can attach them to the rest of those pieces. So I'm just lining up that score line so I can trim that tab off each side. And then I'm going to round those edges, which, you know, corners, which obviously you don't need to do. Neither do you need to ink around the edges, but I like to. And I guess I just like to make more work for myself. So that one's done. Put this to the side. And then I can attach my mats. So I'm trying to decide which way to go. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I have these mats here, and I've just cut these out of that atlas paper. And then in that sticker book that I had 2 whole pages of just little border stickers. So I've just gone crazy with the border stickers. So I just like to put this next to one that I've already matted, just sort of make sure that I've got my mats roughly in the same place. She says, and then it wobbles and moves. Okay, and then I'm going to put this one on the back. Oh my goodness, so much glue just came out. Oh, the big gluey mess. Okay, line that one up and glue that one down, and the big gluey mess in the middle. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then this is that tiny little skinny mat. I think it was an F13. I'm just going to pop that on here, like so. Make sure that it's facing up the right way, and I'm just putting it down on that little section there like that. And wipe up the glue that's coming out of there. There we go. So how I put all these together was I got myself a piece of card, the same width as the card, as the pieces themselves, and then I've just attached them each one in this manner. So I have just used a bit of double-sided tape on this section here. I'll just run it along there. My fingers are covered in glue. And just run it along there. And trim it off. That burnish it down so that the backing will come off okay. Pull that backing off. I don't know if it's the humidity or what it is, but I've really been struggling with these backing strips today. Then I'm going to put a bit of glue on along here because it just gives me a little wiggle room time, because once you lay something down with that double-sided tape, there's no going back. And then I'm going to fold it back over on itself like that and line it up underneath this one and push it down just gently. And then I just like to make sure that it's lined up with the one on top in a way that I'm happy with before I really stick it down. I'll just have a look at all of those together. And that'll do. So then I'm just going to burnish it down like so. And then I'm just going to get my cutting board out again, and I'm just going to line up this bottom section of that flip and trim that little remainder piece of cardstock off. And then we have our flips, which I'm going to attach index cards to, like so. And I think that looks fabulous with the index paper, I love it. So then if we bring our book organiser thingy back, we can just line it up on here. So I'll just get my ruler out again. And so I know my whole page is about 24 centimetres, so about halfway would be about 12. And these are 15, so about halfway is 7.5. So then, to line it up, I just need to align those two marks, and of course I can get rid of those with an eraser afterwards. And then I'm just going to pull that up and make sure that I'm happy with the way that that's sitting as well. And oh, that looks so pretty. So then I'm just going to go ahead and put a whole pile of glue on here and stick it down. Right, so I'm just looking at my little marks and lining those up, and I can also use the stripes on that paper as a bit of a guide as well. And then when I'm happy with where it is, better be happy now, I'm just going to make sure that it's, oh, it just wobbled again. That's the kind of day I'm having. Glue's come out the edge. I'm going to clean that up. Push that down. I'm just going to go along and make sure that that's really firmly attached all the way, and clean up the excess glue that comes out the edge, because for me there's always excess glue. Last one. There we go. So then if I attach my magnet on the back, on this back flip, I don't know if you can see it, on this back flip, and somehow attach a magnet on that front one, they'll stick together. But I'm obviously going to have to try and figure out how to do that, because I've kind of messed up here. I don't know if I can get that off. Maybe if I can just... I'll tell you what, I'll try and do that off the camera so you don't have to see the diabolical mess I make of that. So that one's done. I'll just put a little paper clip in there to remind myself to fix that up. So then if we go back over here to this flip here, I'm running out of space. We have two pockets to go on this side, and I've already gone ahead and put the mats on them because this is an extraordinarily long video. So we have here an F2 and an F5, and I'm simply going to attach my F2 and my F5 on here like this. I tell you what, I won't even do it right now. I'll just show you that they're going to go like that. So then I could just paper clip that down, and so then you will know that that's where they're going. Right, so that'll be on there like that, and then if we flip over, on this side we're having the corner pocket, which is this one here. So I will go ahead and attach that onto here with some glue. Slide that down onto there so that it will look like that. And then on this center section here we're having a double belly band. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this piece here, which is H2. And because it's a belly band, we're going to use the top and the bottom flip, but not the side one. So I'm going to cut that side flip tab off. So I'll just get out my cutting tool again, line this up here and here. Trim it off. And I'm going to attach that in the middle like so. And I'm not going to do that. I will come back and show you when I've done it, but I'll just want to show you where everything's going so you can follow along. But I think it's best if I just do it like this, right? So then that's there, and then on top of there we had the tiny little belly band, which is J3, and I've already put the mat on that, and I'm just going to line that up in the middle and pop that on top of that one like that as well. So then for that page we'll have those two belly bands. So then you can flip over here, we've done that waterfall, and on these two pages, really simple, just a pocket on each page. So I've already matted these. So again, this is the H2 with the mat that goes with it, H4 maybe, I can't remember off the top of my head. And so this one's going to go on the bottom here like so. So we'll just paper clip that on there. And then this is the same pocket again, the H2 pocket, but this one's going to be a sideways pocket, and we're just going to pop that one on there like that. And that is essentially that book done, apart from attaching magnets and so on. So I'll just pop that paper clip on there, and this one on here, so you can see that that's how that works. So that's that whole section done now. So I haven't put the covers on yet, or the mats on the covers yet, because I'm going to put a magnet or two along here and attach them to this section as well. So, but you probably don't need to see me do that, and this is going to be a really long video if I do. So that's that section. Then we just had to make a couple of other pieces to go on here. So I have got a wallet folder, and the wallet folder has got these two pockets on the inside, and that's the J8s with the J16 mats, and they're going to go on either side. And then this is how we're going to make the actual wallet itself, is just using this D2. And what we're going to do is trim off some of these tabs. So we're just going to leave one tab on one of them, and then trim all the tabs off the other one, just to make a little booklet. So if I could line it up, I'm just going to trim 3 of these off, like so. And then this one here, we're going to cut all of them off. So then what I'll do is I'll just cut this one long one here off. Right, and let's say, well, let's just go ahead and trim them all off. I'm just trying not to make a long video, and I'm sure this is going to be really long. So we have one that has just one long tab on it and one that has none, and all we're going to do is attach this tab here, if I can fold it. I'm going to attach this one to this one, like so. And then when we've done that, we can mat the whole thing with the mats that we've already cut for them. Then I've got those 4 here. And then we're just going to attach these pockets to the inside of each one, and that will make a wallet folder like so. So I'll go and do that off camera, because that's just going to be a bit time consuming, and I'll come back and show you. So for the notebook, we do exactly the same thing. This is the D3 pieces. So on this one, I'm going to cut all 3 tabs off. And on this one, I'm just keeping 1 tab and cutting those 2 off. Then I'm going to attach them together by that 1 tab and mat the whole thing. And then we'll come back and we'll insert the pages together. So that's that one. And then we have an envelope and a little sticky notes book. So and we might do that in another video because this is taking a really long time. So I do hope you come back and look at the next video. I'm sorry that this has gone so long today, but I think it will be worth it because I think these are really great. These will be really great little gifts when they're done. So if you're interested in mini albums and if you're interested in making mini albums and other things like this desk organizer or planner, then my SVG files are available on my Etsy store, and I'll put the link below. But otherwise, thanks very much for your time today, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.